Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Tim, for the opportunity to be here. My name, just as mentioned, my name is Ezekiel Adekanmbi. A staff engineer at Intel in the United States. I have very short time, and in this very short time, I want to make sure that it's very, very productive, and you get the best out of this. I'm not sure if some of us have seen this image online around 2020, 2019. Is on news in Nigeria. Oh, Nigerian prodigal son becomes PhD holder in US Linda EKG profile. You go to motherhood, those are come out some of the popular. They say, oh, from bread hawker, I became a PhD holder. That's my story. You've probably seen my Google Scholar. You've seen Tory News that will say, oh, prodigal son becomes a PhD holder. That's myself and my mom. And there's something that I really want everyone here to understand. You can always become whatever you choose to be. Bro, if I was mentioning something earlier on today and saying, oh, your mindset. Yes, that is exactly what drives. When the Bible is saying that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I always believe in that thing. Your mindset is number one, and then that mindset is going to lead you to various directions that will really help you to achieve so many great things in life. So I just wanted to share this. They might see this as the first time, but my story is a success story that I would like to share with you and give you the guidance that you need to get the scholarship that you want. And I also want to mention that from my BSc to my PhD, I have never paid 1 naira, $1 for my education. Everything has just been on a smooth ride, and I thank God for that. But let me show you how. So, agenda today, we're going to see scholarship. When you say scholarship, what are they? Free money, grant. So, what are the scholarship pathway? And some of them are conditional, some of them are non-conditional. You understand what it means. Some of them are full and partial. And the key one is the intentionality of any scholarship-bound candidate. What is the end goal? How do you balance your needs and wants? And who are the chosen ones when it comes to this scholarship? What steps do they follow? If you are standing on the shoulders of giants, you are following the step, you are following the old pathway, people that have passed through somewhere. It really helps you to become. It saves you a lot of time. You trying to figure things out yourself. Follow those people who know the road, and they'll get you there. And then again, when you have all those opportunities, you'll be faced with problems, just like I faced with problems when I got 6 job offers after my PhD. Which way should I go? Do I want to keep to my flexibility or I want to be rigid, in my opinion? Do I want village, town, city? Where do I want to study? All these things are very, very key, and we'll quickly touch on them today. But before we go ahead, what you are seeing here, I just put this one here. It's an illusion. And the question is, which direction is this man facing? If you look at this, which direction is this man facing? Is he facing forward? Is he facing sideways? When it comes to scholarship and you go to online, you are trying to figure things out yourself, definitely be seeing some conflicting opinions. And some of them will tell you this is how you should do it. Some of them will tell you this is not how to do it, especially now that we have AI that can write so many things based on what they know. Some of them are not always correct. So it becomes challenging. How do I navigate this? Another thing that this thing is telling us is, oh, I don't have first class. I don't have 2-1. So I don't have 2-2. Oh, I have HND. I can't go study PhD. I have 4 of my mentees that had PhD, I mean HND in Nigeria, and they came to US directly to study PhD from HND to PhD on full scholarship. 4 of my mentees. And so these are confusion that will come in at early stage when you are trying to find scholarship. When you look at the qualifications and you look at where you are, sometimes you just condemn yourself and say, this is the end. what we know, I'm from Nigeria. What we know in Nigeria is if you get HND, you need to go and do PGD, and after that, you do masters, and then you go for PhD. Some people don't even know that even if you have your BSc, you don't need masters to do PhD. You just go for PhD directly. Some people don't know. And so these are the early stage of confusion, and that's why I put this one there. But we want to clarify those confusion. Now you can see clearly just the steps that you need to take. And if you take all those steps, getting scholarship is almost inevitable. I've used this step for almost 400 people now, and it's giving the same result every time. So I'm not really surprised. But let's see what those steps are. First, I don't know if I can, let's see where I can minimize this one. Anyways, so when you can you see my screen clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
you
Oh,
can see.
okay. Oh, okay. All
Yes,
right.
you can see.
Okay. So when you're talking of scholarship, what are they? You know, or someone is giving you money, they are paying you something to support your education based on um certain academic or other achievement that you have had in the past. They will say this, okay? And if I'm being biased towards United States, you see that most common forms of scholarship that we have, they are just three for international students. There are several other ones, but when you are talking of 95% of the students that are coming in, they are getting one of these three that you are saying here. So the first one is teaching assistantship, which means they are awarding this one to a student, and your goal when you come in is that you're going to be helping university professor to grade homework, to grade quizzes, to grade tests, exams, recitation. That's what we call tutorial in Nigeria or in Africa. You help with, or sometimes your professor is pregnant, is she's giving birth, you take over the class and teach, as I've done several times when I was in grad school. So the advantage of getting a teaching assistantship is very easy. Number one, it pays your in-state tuition. I'll tell you what it means by that. It pays your institution, it pays your health insurance, it pays your monthly stipend. Some schools will give you $2,000 to just to take care of yourself, find house, and some will give you 2,005 depending on the city that you find yourself. And some it might just be 1,007 or something like where I went to. And another thing is when you are a teaching assistant, the commitment is like 9 months. The academic year starts in August, it ends around May. So your end of all of May, June, July, or something like that, you're still very, very free. So you have like free summer, but no money. But the disadvantage of this is you're going to be paying what you call uh, out of state tuition. And so when they pay your in-state, I'll tell you the difference in next slide. You can see that when you are a TA, TA is good. You are here, you are doing fine, but you still have some money you are paying. Your education is not 100%. And I'll tell you how that works. And if you are going for PhD, they want you to have that teaching experience because you can be a professor in probably after your graduation. And so one out of the 5 or 4 years you're going to spend, they will ask you to be a TA. So this is what a TA gets. And when you are a research assistant, the research assistant is given directly by the professor. The professor has government money, they have private funding, and they want students from Africa, from all over the world, to come and help them do the research that they have proposed and they got money for. So that one, they'll pay your out of state tuition, they'll pay your health insurance, they'll pay stipend, they'll pay everything for you. But the problem is you will only do the research that they wrote the proposal to get the money for. You can't say, I'm interested. I saw the chemical engineering. You can't say I'm interested in petroleum refinery refining when your professor got money to do biomedical research, you know. So you don't have a choice than to follow whatever your professor is doing. That's one. Then two, I did that for 4 years, so it has too much work, so you should be ready for it. You have very limited freedom, especially in summertime, but that's when you have to They have timeline that they have to report to the government or to the donation agency how they are doing. If they are not making progress, they may stop their funding and that will affect you. So they have to report those progress. And the last one is fellowship. It's free money. You are technically not doing anything, but fellowship is very, very scarce for people that I've seen that are here. Maybe one or two people got fellowship, and the two of them, I think they're from probably Ghana also. And other people, they have been either TA or RA. That's how we call it. Those are the form of scholarship that are very common for international students here. So I was talking to you about in-state. This is the university I attended. I attended University of Idaho. You can see the difference. So when you are a TA, they will pay this, your full-time tuition fee for graduate student. They will pay this $10,500 for you. But look at what out of state is. Out of state is the non-resident, 29,784. So you can see the difference is almost 19,000 or thereabout, or 20,000. So if they give you stipend of $30,000 per year, you're going to spend 19,000 out of it just to pay the balance. Because if you are a TA, they only pay this. But if you are a research assistant, that is when they pay this in full for you. So whatever money they are giving you a stipend, you just spend some of them and save a lot of money. So I said I'm going to show you this. Okay. Now, when you are talking of scholarship pathways, okay, now you know the different type of scholarship we have. You know the benefit of this, you know the disadvantage of this. When you're talking of scholarship pathways, uh, there's one thing I always tell my mentees, please and please do not be tempted if you are coming to United States, for example, to take any opportunity that will make you have J1 visa. I have a friend that has been in US for 12 years, and because she came in through J1 visa, she has not got a green card now. It's very sad because if you have J1 visa, it requires you to go back to your country for at least 2 years after you finish your study before you can even apply to anything. People have a way of going around it, but I'm a very straightforward person. I don't do that. I just do things straight. I tell people from the beginning, just avoid anything that will give you J1 visa. People will tell you when you get here, you figure it out. Don't put yourself in a stress. God has blessed you with good brain. You will always, always have opportunity if your mindset is right. So avoid that because it will cause you to return to your own country. Another one is, some of them they are renewed every year, so it causes you to be on your toes every time because you don't want to relax. So even when you are trying to sleep and you have not caught up with something, you just have to be on your toes because teaching assistant, for example, if you don't meet certain criteria, they will not renew it. And if they don't renew it, how do you get your money paid? Even if it is just 10,000 they are paying, it has to your burden. And also, you have to be progressing in your research. If you want your RA, your research assistantship to keep going, you need to show that progress. And that's why we are here. We know everywhere we go to, Africans are always blessed. I've seen this in US, I've seen this in Canada, I've seen this in UK. They are always blessed everywhere we go to. So you have what it takes to be successful. You just need to understand all these options that you have so that you know how to actually take yourself. So for all those non-conditional type of scholarship, of course, anyone that has F1 visa, you want to go for it, because you can stay here, you can get your OPT, be here for 3 years. Within your OPT, they will file your H1B. Then after you get your H1B, of course, you're going to get your green card and become a citizen. That's the path that we have. And then you can start helping more and more and more people back home and bring them here to encourage them as well. And then this one, of course, the one that will not even require you to teach and research at the beginning, because the first year they're just like giving them free money, grants or fellowship like that. So those are the pathways. But if I now ask that, how does this admission, when you're talking of admission and getting funding, I'm using United States as an example, how does it work? Okay. So I'm not the type that always like to word things, but I put this one here so that you can see if you want to screen capture, you want to just keep those documents. You apply to graduate school. When you apply to graduate school, some of them you apply with separate scholarship application. Some of them, once you apply, the scholarship application is embedded there. So your application covers that. And then once you apply, the graduate school or undergraduate school, they will send the application to the department. The department committee will review those applications. They will choose those that will be admitted, send that information back to the graduate admission. Once they send it back, then the graduate admission will now communicate with the students. Say, oh, congratulations, you have been given this offer. You have been admitted with this scholarship or something. They will write it in your scholarship note. That's how it works. So for potential people that want to become graduate students in US, this is what I tell them. It's been working for a lot of people. It will continue to work because that's how the system is. So you want to make sure that you communicate with the professor in your proposed department or the proposed research group you want to join. Just communicate with them. Make sure you get a note from them that they'll tell you, oh, go apply for admission. I'll fund you. That word is very key. There are ways we frame the wordings of whatever we are sending to them in terms of introducing ourselves and what we have seen about them. I will mention that the next slides. Then I want you to know that those professors that have money, either from government or private organization, that's the money you are looking for. That's the money you want as scholarship, right? That's the exact thing you want. So those ones, they are the ones that will hire students to help them perform those research. They hire the student because they have the money. And so when you are sending things to them, you want to include your resume, your official transcript, if you have GRE or TOEFL if it is needed, or you have brief SOP, you want to include that. The goal of doing that is this. When I was in graduate school, I had the opportunity of becoming the president of the Graduate Student Association. So I know how all these things, I know how they work. And it's the same across all universities. And that's why most of my students or my mentees, they always get admission, they always get funding because I know how it works. That's what we tell them. And I'm going to share some of them with you, share them with you here. So the essence of communicating with them is going to make you an automatic candidate. When I say automatic candidate, you have you have you sent a note to a professor. The professor tells you to go and apply. What the professor will do is the professor will take your name and give it to the admission committee and say, when the graduate school sends the document of this candidate to you, just mark it admitted. I'm going to fund the person. It will be so. That's why you see that some people will apply very quickly. When they make decision, they will send it to them. It's because you are already an automatic candidate. We call them automatic candidate because it is the professor that gave the name to those admission group and say, admission committee, hire this person. This person is going to work with me. So it's very, very important. And I will say this, what I'm telling you, I didn't know it because I was outside just like you. But if I were to restart my graduate school application today, what will I do? That's what I put here. Number one is you go on Google, verify what we mean by R1, R2, and R3 university. R1 our university means they are very, very research intensive. They do a lot of research. They focus just a little on teaching. R2 is in between. I went to an R3 university where they focus like 40% on research and 60% on teaching. So you want to do that because of your level of tolerance. Some of you cannot work in the lab for 10 hours. You complain. Some people will just say, I can't, oh, this is too much. I cannot do this. That's where the mindset comes from. Look at R1, R2, R3 universities. Which of them do you think you will fit your personality? Because we are all different. Once you do that, another thing, that's if you're applying for RA. If your focus is you want to go for TA, even though TA, I don't encourage that, but it's still better than nothing. If you are doing that, you want to know the population of your school. I went to University of Idaho where the whole population of the school was 18,000. Undergraduate graduates to 18,000. Arizona State University is 140,000. So when you are a TA and they ask you to grade script, sometimes you have, if you are in Arizona State University, you have like 600 students in your class. You have your own class to take, you have some things, other things to do, and you want to be grading 600 script every like 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they give them homework. So you are looking at the workload of what you are going to do, so that when you get here, you are not stressed out. I've seen a lot of stress in undergraduate student, graduate student in US, because some of them don't know all this information before they come. And also, before I go ahead, I want you to know that in Africa, they kind of tell you that, oh, you need to go to University of Lagos if you want to get things done. Don't go to this. No, no, no. Here, you are the one that will make up your mind. Do you want to, after your PhD or whatever, do you want to go into academics, or you want to go into the industry? In my own case, I decided to go to industry. So when you're going to the industry, it does not really matter whichever university you go to. What matters is what you are doing in that university and what you're going to show when you come out. Okay, so I want you to have that at the back of your mind. Let me quickly go because of our time. I will encourage everyone, if you are not on LinkedIn, please join LinkedIn and start searching keywords. I'm going to show you an example of how we get the money. Because if you want to apply for scholarship, one question you want to ask yourself is, where is the money? How do I know a professor that has the money to sponsor me, to give to me as an international student? I'm talking about US now. So that's very important. I will also find out professor in my field that have money. I'll show you how to find that money now. And I said, this is the most important step in graduate school application, for example. This is the most important step. Then you reach out to the professor after you have combed their Google Scholar, LinkedIn, or ResearchGate web pages. Comb them, just have an idea of what they are doing before you send an email to them. They are going to be responsive. They are going to respond to your email. I promise that. And when you go ahead with a professor, they can tell you go and apply for admission. And once you apply for admission, I think everything is going to be easier. So my call here is, I'm a religious person. I'm a follower of Christ. Start with prayer, end with prayer. Remember what John 3:27. Nothing will be given to someone except it is released from heaven. So I believe so much in that, and I pray hard also on that. So what you're seeing here is, I want you to know, if your focus is United States. Sorry, I'm being biased here, because that's where uh, I encourage my people to come, and that's where most of my mentees are. So this is how much the US is spending. I track this. This is up to 2022. 2023 will be out in March. This is how much they are spending. Look at the money that you have opportunity of knowing where they are. So government release this money every year, and you can see that it keeps increasing. Let's even forget about the stimulus because of COVID. Look at just the blue line. It's increasing every year. And your role, or my role, is, where are this money going? I need to find out where this money are going. If I know where this money is going, if I know where this money is going, then it's very easy for me to tell my student, hey, go and apply to this school, go and apply to this school. This is where the money is going. Some of them now, they are also doing the research themselves, and I'm going to show you how you can do the research yourself as well. So this is where government is releasing money for research and development, and we have to find out where they are going. Okay, so I put it here, follow the money, how to find professors who have research money. Because it is when they have research money that they will hire you to as an assistant to come and work for them, and they pay everything for you. Okay. I said, number one, you can join LinkedIn. Number two, you can find the best place to do this is on government website. I'm going to give you an example here. Let me go on to the next one. You see what you are seeing here? The money I showed you earlier, this is where this is where they are going. They go to NSF, they go to NIH, depending on your research. They go to National Endowment for Women, they go to Department of Defense, Department of Education, Department of Agriculture, irrespective whether you are in accounting, you are in engineering, you are in science. That money I showed you, this is going to these major 15 departments. Okay. Now, depending on your research or where your interest is, I'm not even talking of the private funding from Big Gate and Co. Let's focus on this government, please, now, because 95% they are from here. Depending on the research you want to do, you can go to this website. And when you get there, I'm going to show you an example of NSF now, how you get the money, how you know professors that have money, and how you can send email to them and track them down. They will hire you based on your interest. So this is very key for you to know that the money I showed you, this is where it is going. And that is the money you need for your own scholarship. Now, this is National Science Foundation, NSF. Okay. If you go to nsf.gov and you click on find funding and apply, there's this one here that I always give most professors. It is called early career researcher. Professor that are assistant professor, that are associate professor, they give them a lot of money like this. When you click this, you can go there. I intentionally put this here because I want to walk you through it. When you click it, this is what happened. Okay. It will take you to this page. You see opportunity for early career research. When you click search funded project award, this is the money they have released to NSF, and this is the money NSF has released to professors that are performing research. Okay, when you click that, it takes you to this page. You see, now it tells you by state. Each state, I have given researchers 200. In Alabama, I gave 201. In California, I gave 1,548. You can see all of them, what they gave as at the time. They update this thing almost every week. Once you see this, this tells you where the money of the government is going. This tells you university that you might want to check in each of those areas. But if you come to this right here, you can see they said this is the topic. These are the professors. I have given them 397,000 to work on this. If you come here, you say, I've given 3 million to work on this project. Government is telling you that. You see, I have given 390, I have given $1.5 million to work on this project. So if you are interested in any of these, there are a lot of them. You can see on the left. Now, what that one tells you is I'm going to click this first one here, career, the top one that I highlight. If I click that and it go to next page, it gives me detailed information. What you have just seen now, I gave it to this professor, Professor Wang. This professor is at Utah State University. I have given him 397. I'm still going to give him 500,000 in total. And he needs to work on this project from April 5th. You can see it up, 2023 to, uh, from August 1st, 2023 to July 31st, 2028. So that's a very good assumption. I mean, this one shows you just one of this. So when I click this, it brings this. It gives me the email of the professor and the amount they have given him. You can click the topic again and go and look at the abstract. Is this something I'm interested in? If you are interested in it, yeah, I'll just say, oh, I saw that you have been given this, I'm interested in this work. I've seen your work in this profile, and this is why I want to work with you. This is my own profile. By the time you do that to 10 professors, you see like 3, 4, they are responding. They'll be telling you, oh, I like what you have done in the past. Go research, go and apply this. Or your background is not related to what I'm doing, but what you have in the background, it will be useful for this part of my research. Go and apply. That is why we tell students to go for that. So if you do that, it really helps you. That is where the money is, and that's how you find the money. You can find, sometimes they will post on LinkedIn, sometimes your mouth to mouth, your friend will tell you, this is, go and apply to these schools, but you yourself can figure it out. What I tell students is, and I will encourage everyone on this bridge, please and please network with one another. When you network, instead of you trying to find 10 information yourself, 10 people can find one information at a time, and the 10 of you will come together, review whatever you have. It saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of headache. This is where the money is for US. There are some other, every other scholarship that I have details for, like some of this year, like whether it's Chevney, Commonwealth. There are ways you do that. You click each of the link, you can still find that. But what we are trying to say here is, for US, and 95% of the time, this is how you know professors that have money, and this is how you go after them, and this is how we make sure that they hire our students. Most of the time, I will call them directly from here. I have a student who has given you this, and please check your spam and then talk to them. Our students, they get in. So I'm sharing this because it has been helpful and it will continue to be helpful. So when it comes to preparation timeline, my time is fast spent. I should have stopped now. I'm so sorry. Just one more slide or two. Um, if your goal, for example, is to come to US in August 2025 to come and study, I'm telling you, it is 100% possible. I know you are still going to learn a lot from this summit, but I just put this timeline here. All you have to do is this. I have been in admission committee. I know how it works. Try as much as possible, no matter what deadline they say, try as much as possible to apply and submit all your documents before December 15th prior to that year. If you are coming August 2025, make sure you have applied, you fill all your documents by December 15, 2024. And once you do that, you have just set yourself up for success. Okay. So, and please make sure you complete your homework. And when those offers are coming in, I'm telling you, you are going to be getting like 3 or 4 different offers. If you follow this very simple procedure, you're going to be getting 3, 4 different offers. And for me, I never knew that someone that has taught class from Nigeria, after sending a document to West for evaluation, we get full funding. And I didn't know. I was thinking you have to have first class or 2-1. But I've got a lot of people with, quite a number of people with third class, with 2-2 that got full funding, even with HND directly to PhD, 4 people. So when those times are coming, when they are coming really well and you are getting 3, 4 offers, that is the most critical time for you. For me, I believe in 2 things. Number one, I believe in Proverb 14, verse 12. It says that there's a way that seemeth right to every, but the end is destruction. That is the essence of prayer. You just have to pray. Yes, you have 4 funding. You have 4. I was, it took me and my wife days of prayers when we got 6 job offers after my PhD to know where I will go. It takes time. So, and the last one I want you to know is this. When you put a fish inside water and you put a fish on the ground, they are going to have 2 different experiences because of what is called natural habitat. And that's where I'm going to end here. Where is your natural habitat? Where do you strive more? Where do you think you can have to stress yourself a little bit and you can see accommodate the stress without being burned out? It is very important to consider these 2 things. Fish inside water, fish on the ground, they will always have 2 different experiences. Your friend is enjoying this, does not mean you are going to enjoy it because of habitat. Figure out what is good for you and go for it. I know that with this very short thing that it looks very simple, but it's always been working, and I know it's going to work for you as well. So that's what I have for today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so sorry I took more time than expected, but if you have any question, let me know. This is where I'm going to stop.